This is a sort of a meme, I guess as the kids call it. Me the first time Scott Speedman showed up on Grey's Anatomy versus me now. Hey there, I'm Scott Speedman. Esquire has asked me to explain a few things about my career, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna look at some stuff and try to see if I can remember it. Wow, okay. How would you feel about a possible Felicity reboot? I think with the players involved, with Kerry Russell coming off The Americans, Matt Reeves doing Batman, J.J. Abrams coming off of Star Wars, it's a little hard to get everybody together to come back and do a reboot of Felicity, but I mean, I'm down. I would love to do it. Have you been made aware of the Twitter thirst for Dr. Nick Marsh? A little bit. I try to stay off of that stuff as much as possible because it can turn on you real quick. You can get a lot of very positive things, and then with this show you can get a very passionate no, which I've seen both. So if you want to get slapped around, then that's fine, you can go check it out, but yeah, I try to stay away from all that. Tell us something we don't know about your character in season 3 of You, and this is a picture of me and Victoria Pendretti. The character starts, I played a guy named Matthew, and he's a very controlling type A personality. And what we see as the show goes on is sort of this guy who's got everything together sort of descends into madness a little bit. So that was really fun for me to play. I knew I could do that part. I do that part really well. It was this guy that has everything together that was going to be the struggle for me. So what's the best part of being an iconic cast like Grey's Anatomy? It's intimidating for sure. I mean, being part of this iconic cast, I tried to shut off all the noise. Didn't want to read anything about it. Just kind of wanted to get the script and see if I liked the first script and dive in. And how hard was it to keep my return to the series a secret? It was very easy because I don't tell anybody anything anyway. Don't have a ton of friends, and I like to surprise them anyway. Usually when I work, they're always calling me and saying, I just saw you on the show, how come you didn't tell me? And I say, well, because I didn't want you to see it. What is your fondest memory of playing Ben on Felicity? Any challenging scenes to film? It's always awkward doing love scenes with people you don't really know all that well yet, and having to have this kind of forced chemistry that you haven't developed yet. So that was always challenging, but we got through it, and obviously it worked pretty well. According to the internet, you auditioned for the role of Robin in Batman Forever. Which superhero would you most want to play? Well, I grew up a swimmer. So in my mind, when I looked at the pictures of Aquaman, this blonde kid, I thought maybe I would have a shot at that, but they went a slightly different way, and it seems to have worked out really well. But I would have said Aquaman. Obviously, Jason Momoa killed that, so there goes my dream of that. What are your thoughts on the strong fan reaction to Felicity's infamous haircut? This got really turned around on her. We were dating at the time, and they really tried to convince her to do it, to cut her hair. They needed a second-year storyline. They didn't have one. They convinced her to do it, and when it came out, it didn't go so well. It kind of had the narrative that, we got drunk on the weekend and I cut her hair or something, and she just came back to work with her hair cut off. But yeah, it was definitely something that got a lot of play, a lot of news, but I thought she got a bad rap on that one. How did you prepare to play a manipulative character like Baz in Animal Kingdom? I didn't really prepare all that much, to play this manipulative character. I just kind of went with it, and I kind of found stuff as I went. He kind of had different corners than I thought he was going to have, and he was definitely a manipulative guy, and I enjoyed diving into that, so it was really fun for me. What's it like working with director and fellow Canadian? Do you have a favorite Cronenberg film? The coolest part about Cronenberg is that he's the sweetest, nicest, funniest guy you'll work with. His movies are obviously very dark and very interesting, and they kind of go off in very weird ways. So I thought he was going to be sort of a heavy presence, but he was so easygoing. And I'm going to say my favorite Cronenberg movie is the one we just did, Crimes of the Future. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm in it, and that one's going to be my favorite. Here's a post about this movie Sharp Stick that I did with Lena Dunham. That was really fun. I mean, 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have been that comfortable or that daring to go and do a role like this, but I play a sort of been there, done that porn star in Sharp Stick who has quite a social media following. He's sort of an OnlyFans kind of star too, and yeah, I haven't seen the whole movie. I've seen some scenes, and my stuff is pretty good, so I'm excited for people to see. This is a sort of a meme, I guess as the kids call it. Me the first time Scott Speedman showed up on Grey's Anatomy versus me now. interesting and interesting. It looks like this person has aged somewhat since the first time I was on Grey's Anatomy till now, and she looks pretty interested and slightly less interested, so I'm not sure what that means, but we'll move on from that one. You're from Toronto. Any personal must-see sites or restaurants? Toronto's grown tremendously, and it's all to do, it really seems like it started with Drake. For some reason, when he decided to take Toronto under his belt, it exploded in a different kind of way. So when I go back, everything I see is brand new. The music scene is totally different. The restaurant scene is totally different, and it's amazing. So I don't have any must-see sites or restaurants right now, but I need to discover them. Yeah, I'm Scott Speedman. This was for Esquire. You've been watching Explain This, and thanks for watching.